Well, hey, Jami, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, it's time for us to get into Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 2. Let's talk about it. We still on Ashley versus Wendy, right? Wendy told Ashley, girl, how you view me has nothing to do with me, but everything to do with you on period. Ashley said, well, girl, I don't vilify my accomplishments. And Wendy said, because you ain't got none, bitch. All right. Now, Wendy, I can't recall if Wendy told her, like, I don't vilify my accomplishments either. I just simply state them and bitch you bother. Okay. I don't know if she mentioned that to Ashley that I don't vilify mine as well. But the fact that she didn't like debunk that, because I don't think she debunked it. But either way, she did highlight that Ashley does not have accomplishments of her own. Ashley takes a shot at Wendy and said, well, girl, I got one social security number while you got 6 or 7, according to what the streets are saying. Wendy said they don't say that. The streets isn't saying that. The streets isn't saying 6 or 7, all right? What the streets are saying is that there were 6 to 7 or 67 credit cards and about 6 to 7 aliases, okay? That's what the streets are saying at this time. Did Ashley eat? I don't necessarily think that Ashley ate. Is Ashley wrong for coming for Wendy? Not really. She don't like her, But my thing was, I agree with Stacey. Just stand in it. Just stand in it. Don't be over here fake like, oh, I'm so sorry. I should have never said those things about her. But then on the flip side, you're saying this and that. Like, girl, you don't like the lady. And I feel like I wouldn't. I was going to say I would like you more, but I wouldn't. It didn't matter whether you was being real or fake, Ashley. It's been sealed for me for a minute. All right. Anywho, Ashley, like I said, she's never liked Wendy for real. I think she feels the same way as Karen, that Wendy is not of Potomac. Okay. Ashley could not wait to finally release what she's practiced at home with the hand movements. You know what I'm saying? 6 7 6 6 7 7 6, girl. Didn't work for me, but okay. And you have yet to mention the 67 accomplishments that you have. Either way, okay? Andy is like, so you don't accept Ashley's apology? And Wendy like, I mean, it's not the fact that I don't accept it. I just feel like the girl is full of shit. Wendy, you really could have said both of the things. You could have said, no, I don't accept it because she's full of shit. Okay? It's not that I don't. No, I don't accept it because she's full of shit. So Wendy brings up the text message that she learned about from Stacey. Stacey reached out to Ashley saying, girl, I cannot sleep, honey. I am up at night. I am worried about Wendy or whatever the case is. And, Ashley is like, well, girl, that ain't got shit to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Ashley brings up Wendy's devilish grin mugshot. It's like, girl, come on. Devilish grin mug. Let me just hold what I got because it's really giving everything about you, girl. Is really devilish to me. Now, going back to what Stacey said when she was texting Ashley about, oh, I couldn't sleep or whatever the case is, worried about Wendy, like, what are your thoughts about it, all this and that. Ashley said, girl, I'm not going to lose no damn sleep over her, okay? I'm not going to lose no sleep over what this lady possibly did. Now, see, this is where I do agree with Ashley, all right? And now, listen, BIT, I do hate that that's happening to your family, okay? And, girl, that is very terrible, but I'm going to go to bed, okay? Ta-ta, I hate to say that, but girl, I do agree with her on that part, right? So Stacey said, okay, but just stand in that. And I agree with that too. Facts, just stand in that. All right? Stop acting like, oh, I'm sorry. I hate that I said that. I shouldn't have said that. You're right. Right? And then she turns around and says, well, I apologize for anything that I may have said that hurt your kids. And then Wendy said, BIT, my kids don't know you all. Okay, they do not know your ass, okay? So you ain't got to worry about them, honey. Now, Ashley did want to address the messiness, right? She says people try to label her as being messy in this group. So 2 things. Number 1, I was glad that she felt she needed to address that because it kind of gave a similar moment to me as it did when Candace was on the show. When people or Andy would say to Candace, you are a disaster on Twitter, right? It kind of gave that similar moment of her having to address her messiness on this show. But how Ashley flipped it, she flipped it by speaking on the dynamic of this group, right? Of course, she looks down at, what's her name, Angel, when she says this, talking about how, this group is just much different. She has to adapt more to the sensitivity as well as the boundaries of the group or whatever, right? But I also feel like she was saying that about Wendy because she felt like Wendy was like too sensitive about the Zen win pen situation or whatever of it all. So I feel like she was talking about Wendy as well. But Wendy says, we were tougher back then. Like our group was tougher back then. No, y'all weren't. We've already gone through those examples as to how they were not tougher. The skin was not tougher. They did not have thick skin back then. Everybody was sensitive. You all are continuing to be sensitive. Gizelle is still so sensitive about what happened to her in the first few seasons of Potomac that she doesn't even share her fucking life today. Okay? So be very clear about that. Like the sensitivity is still on the table. All right? It's been on the table for a very long periodically time. All right. Also, I feel like Ashley trying to put it off on the group being sensitive. It's like, no, sometimes y'all will just take things too damn far. Right? Like Angel's not supposed to feel a way that y'all trying to sit up here and push a narrative that she was evicted. Like, it's not true. Like some people just don't like that you lying. Okay? That's an issue. All right. But either way it goes, that's what they got going on. All right. The rest of Ashley's segment, you know, Andy said after finally, and I do mean finally getting a divorce. I said exactly. After finally, and I do mean finally getting a divorce, this stuck out to me because I'm like, you're so worried and so bothered about Stacey's divorce and her relationship. Knowing that one, you overstayed your welcome in your last marriage, right? And you took forever to get your own divorce. And you know for a fact that you will run back to Michael if he came knocking on your door. So be clear why you over here trying to run down on Stacey. All right. Now, Ashley was asked about getting $20 million from Michael and whether she got the $20 million from Michael. And she said that she ain't, well, at least I'm saying that she ain't get that. Okay. I don't believe Ashley got it. I think that Ashley got whatever she needed for the children. I think she may have gotten a small bit of spousal support. I feel like Michael did not have that post-nup drawn up for nothing. I remember Ashley being in a confessional. I do believe that she was pregnant. And I think she mentioned that in that post-nup, she would get nothing. So she did try to get him to revise the prenup. But I think he only revised it enough for his heir. I don't think he did a whole lot to include her. Because I think Michael Bout was frustrated and knew where his money was going to go. Like, I'll give you just enough to take care of my child and to make sure you're good, but I'm not going to give you a whole heap of money for you to go and spend it on your mama, for your mama to continue to be with a man that's not going to do anything to take care of himself nor her. So yeah, we're not going to do it. Okay. Speaking of which, I don't think I put it in my notes, but Ashley was asked about the situation with her mother's boyfriend or whatever the case was. And she said, oh, you know, I can't speak on it now or some BS. I think he did go to rehab or whatever. And I just thought that was crazy that you spent the entire season using your family for a storyline. And then the very little piece that you did have of a storyline, you sit up here and tell us that you can't speak to it now. Child, ain't that something? So anywho, Ashley did get called out by Stacey for embarrassing Josh, you know, the ex-boyfriend or whatever he was. And Ashley explains it and she says that she broke up with Josh like 2 nights before and he still wanted to go out with her. And she said, okay, we could go out, but it's going to have to be on camera. Huh? I don't believe that. I don't know. I don't know. You broke up with him 2 nights before and he still wanted to go out with you. And you said it had to be on camera. I don't believe that. I believe you broke up with him maybe 2 nights before. I don't even know if that's true, Ashley, because you've sat on the stage and lied, you know? So I don't know if that's even true that you broke up with him already. If you did, I feel like you gave him a call and said that you wanted to have a sit down with him, an interactive scene or something. And you needed to film something for the show. And because knowing how he cared about you, he was, all right, bet I'll do it. And you chose to break up with him on camera. Like, I don't know. Something about that didn't sound right to me. Okay. But even with that, for me, I don't feel like you're beating the allegations of what Stacey said, which was you embarrassed Josh because you knew you didn't want to be with him, broke up with him or whatever, still brought him on the show for your benefit, only to break up with him on camera in front of everybody else, like, right? And then tried to put him out there about his finances or whatever, like he ain't got enough money for you, or you know what I'm saying? Because you did say you want to be a sugar baby again. Remember that? So it's like, now he ain't got it, but you was enjoying it not too long ago. So yeah, you're not beating those allegations. Either way, we get on to the Jackson gate of it all. And Ashley says that she was confused at Charisse's reaction because Charisse ain't say nothing to her in her face. But she said everything else on social media and doing a damn press tour. Now, I'm not going to hold you. That was weird. Like, why are you out here doing a press tour? You didn't interview with Carlos. You done went over here to what was it? Was it the Sherry Shepherd show or something? And I'm just like, we doing all of this off that? Like, I'm sorry. I do believe that Charisse was trying to ignite relevancy. Do I fault her? No, not necessarily. Okay, because everybody can use a little piece of relevancy and a piece of coin right about now. Okay, based on this economy, so I get it, girl. But it was just kind of awkward. And you know what? It kind of gives similar to what Ashley is giving now with all of these different interviews that she's doing. I feel like Charisse was trying to show, hey, there is still some interest in me. I did the Carlos King interview. These are the numbers that came in. I did the Sherry Shepherd show. I did this or that. Talk with these people. See, there are people still interested in me. Maybe you could bring me back onto the show type of thing. Like, it did kind of give those vibes as I look back on it. That's what I feel like Ashley is doing with all these interviews that she got going on. Right? So, anywho, child, Ashley says that Charisse's son made the first move on her. I said, mind y'all, Ashley was so inebriated that she couldn't drive. So, how would you know that he made the first? How do you remember him doing it? I mean, yeah, maybe she do. Just because you drunk don't mean that you don't remember everything. Okay? Like Karen says that she didn't remember. All right? So maybe she remembered him making the first move, but I do feel like you're implying that he took advantage of you while you were drunk. She lies and says that it was only a kiss, but you had just said on like 3 different occasions, right, that it was more than what it was. You said it on the show, you said it on Andy's show, and then you mentioned it in an interview. So it's like, girl, what? So either you were lying then or you're lying now, and either way, you just cannot be trusted. None of y'all on this show can. All right? Now, keep in mind also that Cherie said that she heard more things in the Potomac streets about what Ashley was saying about, I guess, the sex capades that she had with Sharice's son. Now, that's what Cherie said. I don't know what's true, but that's just what she mentioned. Now, to me, I feel like Andy was trying to excuse Ashley's behavior because he was like, well, Jackson is an adult now. And Andy, it was weird. It kind of gave that you're interested in Jackson your damn self, so therefore you're justifying the fact that he's older. Would you date one of the cast people's kids because they're an adult now? I don't know. But let's keep going. So Stacey says Andy is still not right. Okay. It breaks mom code. It breaks girl code. It's not right. Now, Ashley is like, I don't know why you saying that it's not right. Because it must be okay. As Sharice was sitting over here saying that she wanted me to be her daughter-in-law. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of weird. Now I will believe Ashley on that piece. Okay. The only reason why is because as soon as Jackson got to that event, what did Sharice do? Hey, Ashley, guess who's here? Like, very weird. Like, after you already knew what happened at the house, that they kissed or whatever it was. And she said, would you be mad if it was a little bit more? So you already knew what was going on. And then Ashley, look who's here. I do believe that she said that. That's crazy. Why would you want your son to be with your friend? Why would you even say that to your friend? Sharice has told me for years she wanted me to be with Jackson. She said that for years while you were with this old man that you were married to. Like, huh? And then it's the fact that she said that while you were married. Yeah, something ain't right over there, girl. Something ain't right. And after she's been with this old cheat man, you would want her to be with your son? Sharice, you just be saying and doing shit, don't you? Yeah, that's awkward. Either way, word on the street is Ashley was dating a politician, baby. Stacey says, well, that's impossible. I holler. All right, Ashley said, what's impossible about it? Stacey says, not with your history. Come on, Stacey. She gagged the shit out of Ashley. Ashley said, oh, I'm always classy, okay? She says, I'm an upstanding, beautiful woman, all right? You better sit your stank breath ass there. I said, Ashley. Stacey said, upstanding. Ashley says, yes, with a capital U. A capital U. Stacey said, who slept with your friend's son? Okay, but what I did catch was that Ashley did not deny sleeping with the friend's son in that moment. She didn't say, and I didn't stop saying that because I didn't. Ashley didn't even say that. She just said, yes, a U, a capital U at that. Upstanding. Right? I wish Stacey would have repeated back to her and said, yeah, with a capital U, you slept with your friend's son. With a capital U, you are a whore. Okay? I wish she would have gave her that. So Gizelle was dating a congressman too. So she said that she was a little confused. She thought the question could have been for her and mistakenly given to Ashley or something, but nobody really knew about it, right? She never brings her dating life on the show. She doesn't want to. And then her excuse was, oh, well, the congressman would have never been on TV. I doubt that. I think the congressman probably would have stepped in. The congressman probably would not have stepped in on the television show if you weren't the only woman that he was dating. But I can see him stepping in here or there, catching a date of y'all together. Like, how is that really going to affect the congressman for real? It's just a little date. Either way, y'all better get some reckoning going on over there with Gizelle before the next season comes in, okay? Now, Ashley is writing a children's book, okay? This is what she's letting the people know. And I watched it for a second time, and I am going to take my hating hat off. And let me sit it over here, okay? And I'll say that the book idea, I think is cute. I think it's cute. You know, I think it could be a cute show, you know, if it was adapted or whatever and turned into a television show, you know, for the little kids. I think that could work. You know, I will say that I can appreciate Ashley for, you know, making a children's book and not doing like a sex toy line. Okay, not doing a lingerie line. Okay, because we know Ashley loves to be clear. I can appreciate her doing something completely different than what people would be expecting her to do. Okay, so I'll give her that. Let me put my hat back on, child. All right, so now I got my hat back on and we can get back to it. So Wendy sat up there and she gonna say, oh, who's the little black girl? Oh, that could be Cam. It's like, girl, didn't you just tell this lady that your kids don't know her? Let's not. You ain't even have to say that. You could have just said, that's cute. See, this right here is how fake y'all be want Angel to be too. Y'all want to be able to say something to each other, and then after that, everything is all good. knowing that you still in your feelings from before. But I guess y'all do what y'all gonna do, y'all. I mean, it's probably much more complicated when you over there behind the cameras and shit, whatever. So Keiarna, let's get to her. So she gonna bring out this damn picture frame. She gonna bring out this picture frame because Kay said the ring is coming. This is what she says in the clip that they showed us. The ring is coming. So Andy asked her about the ring. And what she decides to do is pull out the damn picture frame. So now the question is the ring coming? Of course not. At this point, like I said, I do not want Kay to marry Greg. I feel like it should not have to take all of this at all to get this man to propose to you, to see you, whatever it is. Okay, bringing him on the show, having him ridiculed by the fans, you moving out the house, moving back in. I just don't think it should really have to take all of that. In my personal. And I just feel like, honey, it ain't worth all that.
Honey, he ain't worth all that.
Isn't worth all that.
So anywho, Kay in this facade of being happy about a picture frame because she loves picture frames is so cringe to me. Like, girl, stop. It's not helping the case at all. Jazelle said, girl, I was confused because when I saw the frame, like, I'm thinking it was going to be jewelry because the frame came from the same jeweler. And Kay says, I get why you would think that. I get why you would think. Yeah, because your ass was thinking it. You was thinking it too when you were sitting there receiving the gift. So Keiarna says when it comes to marriage, it is a decision that you are to make carefully. And that's something that she and Greg are going to do. And I said, girl, you, with a capital U, better be the one making the careful decisions, okay? Like I said, I don't really want her with him. I don't really see them being married because he was already married. I don't think he wants to go down that road of marriage and divorce again. He also has children. And I think to me that Greg believes that if he marries Kay, her not having children, she's going to want children. And I don't think he really wants any more. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think Kay should let Greg keep her from her husband. I think she should definitely have an expiration date on the fun that she has with him. He should just be a good time, fun time, and don't let that man keep you from your husband. It's just what it is. Either way, Andy brings in a viewer question about Kay making us think that Greg is going to put a ring on it. Angel wants to jump in to defend her friend, right? And she wants to speak up and support her or whatever. And Kay is like, I got it. I don't need you to talk for me, girl. I know how to speak for myself. I got it. Either way, Wendy and Kay's friendship. So Wendy asked, she was asked about why she didn't just concede to Kay and apologize for not showing up as she expected her to. And Wendy says that she just felt like when it came to Kay and her intentions towards her, she felt like it was malicious. And Kay said, don't speak on my intentions. And I'm confused because I'm like, why can't we speak on your intentions when that is the whole issue you had with Wendy? It was about her intentions. Yeah, that's not making any sense. Like, what? So Wendy brings up the event that was in question and says that Kay never mentioned to the ladies that they actually hugged each other after the event. And Kay said, that's not what happened. That's not how that happened. Only for Wendy to turn around and show proof. Now, Kay's proof was the size of the room. Basically showing the room was so small, she didn't have to overlook me the way that she did. But it didn't matter. Because after the fact, she hugged you, embraced you. I'm sure y'all talked. And it was what it was. Kay, you was just grasping for straws. This was not a good season for you at all. A lot of what you were trying to do did not land well at all. So as Kay and Wendy are going back and forth or whatever, Andy is ready to move on. And I kind of felt a little bit of a way because I'm like, damn, you spent a lot of time on Ashley Darby, though. You spent a lot of time on Ashley Darby, but you're ready to move on from Wendy and Kay? Okay. And first of all, you spent a lot of time on a person that did not have a lot of storyline. She wasn't really talking about a whole lot of nothing. But you want to spend a lot of time on Ashley? As a matter of fact, why was Ashley even sitting where she was sitting? She should have been in Angel's seat, quite honestly. But anyway, let's get to Kay and Stacey segment, right? So, because I got some things I want to say about this. So, we're going to definitely talk about it. I did do a post over there on the Twitter, and some people people on Twitter, girl, they was in their feelings just a little piece, okay? They was in their feelings just a little piece, but we're going to get into it when it comes to this Kay and Stacey. So, Kay says that Stacey would act very aggressive, or at least says that Kay would act very aggressive towards her. Now, I will say I can recall at least 2 times that Kay gave that energy to Stacey. Now, one of those times was on the bus, and then another one of those times was talking about fighting or something. It was at the Bloom event, Ashley's Bloom event, right? So, I don't like that Kay is being labeled as aggressive, but we're not using that for everybody. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that Stacey is wrong about Kay because Kay did kind of give those vibes to her, you know? So Stacey, I don't feel like she's wrong when Stacey said what she said. Like, it's my responsibility to not perpetuate those connotations. And it's also her responsibility to know how to damn act in so many words. Like, Stacey wasn't wrong, but Stacey, make sure you apply that to all that it applies to. So if I was in Kay's shoes, I would feel away. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. I would feel away. Because don't call me aggressive if you're not going to label other folks here that have come for you as aggressive. I can't be the only aggressive BITCH in the room. Okay? Be very, very clear about that. All right? Did you call? Let's be clear. Okay? And it's really more so also not just for Stacey, but really the fans too, who was like, she's so aggressive and she's hostile. And it was really the word hostile. And she's hostile and she's aggressive and this, that, and the other. Like, y'all had so much to say, but y'all don't say that same shit about Ashley Darby.
Now check that.
Y'all didn't call Ashley Darby hostile or aggressive when she snapped on Stacey's ass at her event and called her a lying ass hoe. And Stacey was like, lying ass hoe. Did y'all call Ashley that when she got loud with Stacey? Did y'all do that when Ashley was over there in the boutique with Stacey and confronting Stacey about her own damn business, about her not telling the truth about paying TJ and never getting a divorce? Because Ashley, in my personal, is just as fucking hostile as Kay is, but for some reason, Kay is the only one being labeled as aggressive. Nah. And see, that's the unfairness that I have to call out a little bit with Stacey, because also Stacey, not only did Ashley call you a lying ass hoe, but at that very event, Tia didn't even do too much of nothing to you and you kicked her out the event. Ashley ass, and then y'all was in private when you and Tia got into it. Ashley confronted you, okay, raised her voice with you, called you a lying ass hoe in front of your guest. Your vendors or whoever you had there, that was grounds for her to be escorted off of the property, but you did not refer to her as aggressive. I don't like that. So if we're going to use that word, just make sure it applies across the board, okay? Just make sure you call out the ones that are aggressive and not just Kay. But Kay, you did give her that energy though. I will say that. I just don't like it when it's like, because it makes me think about Candace, right? When people, her mouth, as if Ashley hasn't also had a mouth the entire time. Ashley got this same mouth, but and this is where people had those conversations about colorism years ago when it came down to it. Okay? But and I'm not saying that's Stacey's situation. I'm not putting that on Stacey being a colorist or none of that. I'm not putting that on Stacey. However, I'm just highlighting how some of the fans kind of brought that into play when everything was going down back in season 5 and so on, or whatever the case. However, with this situation with Ashley, I think that Stacey treats Ashley different because Ashley has that seniority, which is kind of the reason why Stacey was not interested in going to Jazzy's event, to her wedding, right? So when the girls kind of clocked her about that, it's kind of giving that, were they wrong, really? It didn't seem like they were. Right? Because you're using this language towards Keiarna, but you're not using it towards Ashley. And I need y'all to start calling a thing with Ashley. Y'all, and I don't know what it is. I'm like, what? And then now, as I've been calling Ashley out for years, now y'all want to get to the season and say, Ashley ain't talking about nothing. She's boring. Ashley's so messy. And I'm so glad because Candace is not there for y'all to put the blame on. Because y'all don't like Candace's reaction to Ashley's messiness. Okay? But Ashley has been just as aggressive in my personal. Ashley has gotten loud with people too. Ashley has been hostile as well. So if we're going to apply it to Kay, make sure you also apply it to the people that actually does stuff to you, Stacey. And the audience, just apply it to everybody accordingly. Okay? Yeah, that's all I'm saying, girl.
I said what I said.
Jazzy decides to come out. Hated it. All right. I did not like her dress. It was also her hair. I'll be honest with you. She's a gorgeous girl, beautiful shape, figure, all of that. But the dress was not complimentary. It made her stand out in the worst way. In my part, all the roses and stuff. And then your hair. I feel like your hair can make or break your outfit. And I just feel like that hair did not compliment whatever you were trying to push through. Honestly, her hair looked as though it was unfinished. It looks as though she got there late. That's what it seemed like. And we know she couldn't have, I don't think, because of the pictures that were taken. But maybe that was after everything was said and done. But all in all, you know, it looked as though you got there, you're late, you put your dress on, they installed your hair, they didn't have time to curl it, tweak it, style it, so we just gonna have to let you go out here like that. Let's just put a hump in it. Like, I did not like it at all. Jazzy was asked about what Kay said about Wendy. Jazzy never tells us what Kay said about Wendy. Kay says, girl, you got 15 minutes. Please don't waste it on me. Ooh. Okay, girl. Jazzy says Kay stole Greg from his wife and children. Now, Kay did come out and she did deny this. She said that's not true, girl. I don't know what's true or not. Let's hop over here on reality entertainment TV and let's check out what she had to say. She says, my family was discussed all season and things were said about me that weren't true, yet it was called just TV. Now it suddenly crosses a line. She says the rules shouldn't change depending on who the storyline is about. And as for timelines, I'm responding to what I was told directly. I'll let the viewers do the math. And see, I said this, I believe I said this, I hope I said this in on Patreon. I'm not sure. But I was wondering if Jazzy did get this information because she also received some information about Angel. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised if people fed her a little, hey, let me tell you this. This is the tea that's going on with da-da-da-da. And then I also wonder if any of the other ladies heard the same things that Jazzy heard. They just weren't going to bring it out. I don't know. But let's keep going. She says, when I heard this phone call is being recorded, I was the one who asked Stacey what that was and immediately told her not to say anything. I asked if it was her phone. She said no and asked if it was mine. I checked, realized it was my phone and turned it off right away. Okay. Now, maybe she could have pressed the button on it. Maybe, listening to it, maybe her face rubbed up against the button, potentially. I don't know, right? So the part that wasn't shown is what actually happened. Wendy and Stacey were muted when Angel acknowledged she knew she was on speaker. I won't accept false or defamatory claims being made about me to create a narrative. She says proof was there and didn't air. Not a single one of them have ever said anything that would warrant me to record them. It's weird, and that was not their true response at the reunion. They were on mute when I proved Angel knew she was on speaker per Wendy and Stacey's request. So this is Angel. I was asked to put someone on speaker while others were in the car. I immediately texted to let her know I wasn't alone. That was confirmed at the reunion. I don't secretly record people and I don't set people up. I simply defend myself when accusations are made. She says, when is your flight? I have so much to tell you. Are you still on camera? No, I'm in the car. Lies, I'm lying. They're here. Oh, gotcha. Mm-mm. So it seemed like she's just trying to use that story to confirm I do not record people. Even when I was told to record or when I was told to put somebody on speaker so they could hear what's being said, I gave that person a heads up. All right. Now, Jazzy, I will say I feel like that's playing the field on both sides when you could have just been like, no, I'm not going to put her on speaker. Or yeah, I put her on speaker, say, hey, y'all, hey, girl, these people are in the room with me. Just letting you know I got you on speaker. Like whenever, and you don't even have to say people in the room. When somebody tells you, hey, I got you on speaker, that means that for me, if I'm calling somebody and they're like, I got you on speaker, that is an indicator that be mindful of what you say because other people may be in here listening. That's all you got to say. Right. But I feel like as much as you are, in my opinion, Jazzy, trying to clear the air about not being a person to record somebody or expose somebody or set people up, it still does not make you look good as a friend in a sense. Like, yeah, you gave her a heads up. Like if I was Angel and you're texting me and you're saying, hey, they're and I'm on the phone, you're like, they're here. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm not going to really look at that as a like you being, like you looking out for me or something like that. I mean, I guess you would want one to look like that, but it's like, why you couldn't say that on the phone? Why you just couldn't just text me that? I mean, not text me, but why you just couldn't say that on the phone? Like, hey girl, just letting you know I got you on speaker. Like, why you got to do it in secret? Like, I'm just going to be thinking to myself, like, must be two sides. Like, okay, you trying to be cool with me, but what you saying about me over there to them that you got to put me on speaker, but you got to text me and let me know that they in the room with you instead of just telling me on the phone that they in the room with you. Like, I don't know. Hopefully y'all following what it is that I'm saying, but I just feel like that doesn't make you look any better, okay, in my personal, right? So let's keep going. Let's get to the Tia segment because her husband didn't like the fact that she called him a nanny, and now she's saying that he's being defiant about things, about not doing things, I guess, around the house or whatever because of that comment. And I'm like, I don't think it's just because of that comment, because he's had the conversation with you on camera about how much you fall back. I think that man may be tired. Like, he may be tired. Like, just like like if a woman was having to do the work, do the most of it, you would be tired as hell. Like, hey man, you need to pitch in, you need to do this, you need to do that, da da da. I think that man is just feeling that same damn way, and that's why he's withdrawing. Okay. Now I'm wondering if he even wanted you to do this damn show. Honestly, truly. Did he want you to do the show and you just decided to do it anyway? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Tia talks about her dad. And while she's talking about her dad, it does lead Gizelle into talking about her dad. Y'all know she was battling the will situation against the wife. The judge ended up siding with his white wife. And the The lady got everything, you know. I would be upset if I was Gizelle, because from what Gizelle explained to us a while ago was that her dad did have a will, right? There was another will that was drafted up when her dad was incapacitated and he was not able to really sign anything. Let Gizelle tell it. And she said a new will was created. And with that will, the more recent will or whatever, the judge went with whatever that woman wanted. So the judge went in her direction with it. I feel like if there was a will that was already signed and then one was signed during the times that he probably was ill, I'm gonna analyze both, and we're gonna meet some stuff, and we're gonna meet it all in the middle in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But Gizelle, what you also should have done, you likely should have got a recording of your father, is what I'm thinking. But who thinks that their dad is just gonna have a tumor and all of a sudden pass away like within less than a month or however it goes? But knowing that the wife was evil, let you tell it, and you did not like her, not only would I have had the dad to sign something, but let me go ahead and get you on camera as well while you're in your right mind, confirming that should anything happen to me, these are the items that I would like for my children to get, despite what will or whatever the case is, you know. But all in all, it went to that woman. Tia and Jazzy, you know, she says that Jazzy's behavior towards her was quite unhinged. Now, see, this I could get with, because it did come left field with Jazzy saying, don't play with me, Tia. Like, that is unhinged behavior. When your energy rises out of nowhere, I'm sorry, Jazzy girl, but that did not look good. Like, what? So if we're going to call it, make sure you do it across the board. Don't just call it on Keiarna. Don't just call it on Jazzy. Make sure you also call it on Ashley. Okay? Call it across the board. All right. Either way it go, that's what's going on. Okay. Jazzy, let's see. So in the midst of Tia, you know, talking, saying certain things, you know, Jazzy decides to like bring up money and stuff. It's like Jazzy often does this thing where she'll bring up money and status. I feel like she had just did that with Keiarna when they were going back and forth before she accused Keiarna of things. You know, she said something. I think Jazzy told Tia this time, my husband is worth millions. And I have a working husband. You know, he has millions, unlike yours, or whatever the case is. And I don't know, I kind of cringe a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It's very much giving Keiarna, though, when you do that. In all honesty, my things, my man, my life, right? My money, like my townhouse, like that's what it kind of gives that. And I really hate to see it. Like, what else is there to you? I don't know. Because I feel like Keiarna is financially well off, in my opinion. I think she has more than one, you know, I'll say beauty spa. I'm not sure what you call it. But I don't see her really throwing that up all the time, her money. I mean, she did say my things, my man, my life, my condo, but she was saying that those are the things that she said Stacey is worried about when Stacey don't give a damn about that. However, I don't see her like throwing it up every time. I don't know. It's somebody, I don't really like it. But either way, Tia says that Jazzy's husband didn't have a job and had to take $150K out or whatever. I guess take out a loan is what she was trying to say, but she misheard it. I do believe everything Jazzy said, right? She says he took out $150K out the bank. That was Jazzy trying to brag like she typically does. She was flexing to say, when my man did not have a job, he was still able to get me the things that I needed by taking 150 racks out the bank to go and buy my home. Like, what is we talking about? That is what Jazzy was doing. Okay, either Tia purposely misunderstood or Tia intentionally tried to flip the story, right? But Jazzy, I will say this, be careful with all that throwing around millions and this, that, and the other, okay? Because you're going to have that husband of yours back in that damn child support office with that baby mama, and she going to go and up your rank up in that office. Understand? So I wouldn't be dishing that out a little too much, okay? We know he got it. All right, cool. Now I know some people be feeling like people ain't got no money. None of the players got money because they not getting in the game that much. They may not have as much money as the players getting in the game, but they got them a cute coin being on the NFL team. Okay. I would believe for him to even be able to get drafted to the Patriots, in my opinion, and they just went to the Super Bowl, whether they won or not, I think that man is doing just fine. But aside from that, Stacey says that she didn't go to the wedding only because of Wendy. Like she didn't decide to go to the wedding because of what Wendy said, right? She's making it seem like she went because she wanted to go. So she says Jazzy didn't even tell her that she had an issue with her until 15 minutes of the show, the last 15 minutes. I feel like when Stacey said that, she was trying to kind of piggyback off of what Keiarna said of the you got 15 minutes, don't waste it on me. So I feel like Stacey was trying to hint at, she was trying to get her last 15 minutes in, is what she was saying, but it didn't land. But at the end of the day, Jazzy was never going to call your card. You were wrong, Stacey, period. Okay? Trying to police who that lady is friends with. That I can't agree with that. Ain't nobody policing your weird ass friendship that you got with Ashley, who's called you a lying asshole, embarrassed you, debunked everything that you had to say, says that you be over here faking. Okay, you're not authentic, you're staying in character. You're a performer. Ain't nobody policing your weird ass friendship that you got with Ashley. So why are you trying to police Jazzy's? Be clear. And that's the only reason why Jazzy called you out, was because of what you said to her. And she had every right. You don't get to sit here and police and say this and that to me. You think you're going to clock me? No, let's clock you. So that's why Wendy had to go in on you. All right? It's really just that simple. All right? We addressed the recording, so it seems like Stacey was right when she said that Jazzy recorded. Jazzy said it did happen, but it happened by accident, but it was not something she did intentionally, because that's not what she does. All right? I don't know if she did or she didn't. I don't know if she did or didn't. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Like, I don't know. All right. I don't know if she was testing the feature out and was not expecting the feature to say this call is being recorded. Yikes. I don't know what she had going on, but that's that. Monique decides to come out. She comes out with the binder. I thought that was ironic as we continue to watch the episode, because this is the very binder that you say you cringe so damn much. I cringe at the thought of it. You cringe at the thought of opening up the binder to read a BIT that came for your family. Awkward as hell. But you still bring the binder out, which makes it even more awkward. Not you bring it out the very thing that you say you cringe. Good night. So she says she's in court now with Chris over a cease and desist that she just got last night, and more so child support and custody or something like that. And she says a little bit of it has to do with Stacey or something. And I'm just like, girl, go away from us with this shit. Like, whatever's going on is between you and Chris. It's not about Stacey. They ain't got shit to do with Stacey. It got everything to do with you and damn Chris and nobody else. All right. Now, it really does not make you look good returning back to the season and you're trying to beef with Stacey based on the BS of Ashley and Gizelle. Just like it didn't make Wendy look no better trying to beef with Angel just a little bit more. And I'm not even going to say beef with Angel because that is on Angel. But at the same time, the talking about her finances and shit, that didn't make you look no better. Sitting up there with Gizelle and Ashley talking about her, only for you to later go on and have your own situation. So, like, that didn't look good at all. Monique was asked about her comments on Angel's marriage, and she said that she wasn't trying to comfort her marriage. But you did. The very thing that you didn't want people to do when you was married. So Monique says that she spoke to Bobby and he didn't even speak to her. Angel says, well, he likes to keep it real. It wasn't out of rudeness. And Monique said, yes, it was. It was rude. It was rude. What was rude was you trying to project onto that man the same actions of your damn husband or your ex-husband. You trying to put this man in the same category as the man that was over there knocking you upside your head. Let you tell it. No, BIT, I don't have words for you. I do feel like that's harmful. Especially, and even if it ain't knocking your head around or whatever, it's just, if that's not my character to treat my woman the same way as your nigga treated you, don't put me in that category. I don't have to talk to you. That ain't no difference. To me, what you said about him to me is similar, although two different situations, and I understand that because y'all ready to get on y'all typing horse signing, but similar to when Gizelle tried to project those lies over there onto Chris. And if Chris don't want to have nothing to do with her, I'm not going to speak to her. He ain't got to. The fuck? Like, no. Now, it was rude. Okay, good. You were rude. And then gonna sit in that lady's face when she said, I got to talk to my husband. Oh, he's a dad. He's a husband. He can handle that. You don't know what the fuck that man can handle. You don't know what his condition is. You don't know what kind of mental things he may have going on from being in the damn league that may have him in a situation where he can't be around the kids for a long period. Like, you don't know what the fuck that man got going on for you to force whatever you had going on with your husband onto her. Like, girl, sit back. So Monique says that she saw Angel doing everything. She saw her doing it all, and she felt like she needed some help. And when Monique said this, I noticed that Stacey kind of looked like confused, like, huh? Right? Yeah, I was like, okay. So Monique says that she wanted her to know that she doesn't have to do all of the work by herself. Like, you need some help. You can get some help, and you don't have to come around the group and be aggressive and all of that. And I'm like, girl, when was, see, here y'all go just throwing this damn word. But y'all won't throw it on the people that it applies to. When was Angel aggressive with y'all? Angel gave y'all pushback because she really didn't want to hang with you hoes no way. And honestly, I be feeling Angel on that. I be feeling, if I'm tired, I don't want to be around y'all. If I ain't trying to, like, girl, listen, I'm cool. I'm good with chilling with my family. Like, I don't feel like stepping. I don't feel like hanging out. I don't feel like okay. So what? How is that? When she gave y'all pushback, when she finally give you a little, let me think about it. I got to talk with him. I got to consult with him. What's wrong with talking to your husband? Okay, like I'm just so confused by that. But either way, I don't think that lady was ever aggressive at all. Angel says it felt like Monique was giving a bit of projection and says she don't even know her or her marriage for her to be speaking on. I know that's motherfucking right, girl. Tia says, girl, Bobby helped us out a lot. So I'm sorry that y'all didn't really get to witness what we saw, but he helped out a lot. And I believe everything Tia said. And I knew Monique was just sitting up there saying shit. Based on how Stacey kind of looked, like her face kind of looked a little bit when Monique was talking, like, where you saw, what all was she doing? Because when they came to the house, Angel had hired certain people to do certain stuff. So what all was Angel really doing? What all was she really doing when she hired people to decorate this, to do that? And I just don't believe that she had too much on her list that she was doing, that it looked like she was oh, so damn busy. Like, no. I think Monique was just talking to make her point feel validated or something like that. In addition, earlier in the season, when Angel wanted to plan something for the ladies, what did Bobby say? Bobby was like, okay, let me go ahead and do this and do that and get this and stuff and, together so that y'all can do it. And she said, no, baby, we'll do it. No, we'll do that together. And then she said she would feel guilty or ashamed to have her husband do all of that work for these ladies that may come in and act a certain way or whatever the case is, right? So, yeah, it sounds to me that man very much so helps her out. You were projecting like a hoe. You were projecting, looking so, and it's crazy because I feel like the way Angel came into the group trying to connect with somebody, how she connects with the wags, I feel like that's how Monique came in, so ready to force her big sisterhood or something upon somebody. And it's like, sit your ass down. Like, sit back. So Stacey was questioned about Chris Samuel. She denies dating him, although it did sound differently when they were on the cameras and behind the scenes or whatever. It seemed like she said that she was seeing him, but I don't know in what capacity, right? Monique says that them dating wasn't an issue, but it was her opening up that she was concerned about because she was concerned about something getting back to her. And she said it did get back to her, so she played a video or whatever. And we'll see that on next week's episode. Shout out to Mims because me, Rodney, and Gabor were over on his channel last night, and we kind of talked about that. He played some of the audio. And it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear with that audio. We'll see on the next episode. But the moral of the story is it does not seem like Stacey was dealing with Chris at all. Even though Monique is trying to say, well, you were in contact with him before I even came on the show. She showed you messages of where he was hitting her up and she was not responding. You're intentionally forgetting that because you want to have an issue with Stacey because of the pre-information that you got from Gizelle and Ashley about Stacey. But Stacey ain't your enemy. You need to look to your right at your girl Ashley. That's who you need to look at. But either way it go, that's all that I got for this episode. You guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below about it. I'm Jami, that's me. I'll catch y'all in the next one, honey. Bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give our glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. I'm silent. Nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification. Them numbers hit like it's a practice. Cashed out at the ATM. And the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATL. Got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invade the gym. High elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up. I can laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man? They say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film. I can feel it.